I was watching some random Dragon Ball Z clips because YouTube loves to feed me those, and I watch them. But just like in any anime or superhero movie or whatever, the main character always breaks through their limits. And like the people that were spectating the fight, like, oh, he's breaking through his limits. And for some reason, that something clicked in my brain with that, and that turned into an idea that I was like, wait a minute, I can actually, talk about that. How do you break through your limits as a person living this life that, this thing that we call life, right? How do you break past your limits? Well, one of the things that can help explain this is this term etymology, which is the study of words, essentially. But I can't break it down to every syllable by syllable, which is as deep as it can go. But let's just look at sentences and let's look at words real quick before we get into this, right? When you say, like, you have to break down the sentences, your limits. How do you break past your limits? When you hear that word your, you have to see that that's your limit. We are divine beings, right? I've said this a million times. We're divine beings. We are God. We are all this type of stuff. Whatever you're comfortable with. We have the universal in us. We have the infinity in us. That is why everything in our mind we can create into this world. So when you are trying to break past your limits, you have to break past the limits and boundaries that you set for yourself, right? And then you have to also look at it like this. Some people say that, oh, that's very light, that's very simple. But words have power, do they not? I can't come up to you and say, you are the most beautiful person in the world. And be like, oh my God, wow, thank you. And that lifted your spirit because words have power, and power means that there's energy. Everything in this world is energy, frequency, and vibration. Right? So you can have a good energy, a high vibration, or I can come up to you and say, you the ugliest person I've ever seen. You're a piece of crap. I hate you. You're like, yo, what the hell? Damn. And that's not going to make you feel too good. And that's going to push you down if you allow that energy to have a place in your aura, in your psyche, in your mental. Right? So people don't like this type of wordplay, but what you really need to understand is every time you say you can or can't do something, you are casting a spell on yourself. And people, what do you mean I'm casting a spell? I'm not doing no Expecto Patronum, Harry Potter type stuff. Yeah, you are. Like I said, words have energy and words have power. So you have to break it down like this. If you don't think that you are casting spells on yourself every single time you say something about yourself, think about it like this. What do you do when you put your name on the blank? Like if you're doing like back in school, what says like place your name here? What are you doing? Aren't you spelling your name? Don't you have to spell your name? And isn't it important, like when you're doing any type of business contract? Number one, contract, that comes from the occult. That doesn't come from business, that comes from the occult. We're using a whole bunch of these spiritual hippy-dippy words all the time in our regular lives, but they don't make no sense to us because, oh, I'm not doing that type of stuff. That doesn't have that same type of power. Then why is it in practice? Why is it that if you break this contract, you will be reprimanded or there will be some type of punishment because you have broken a contract? Some people did they did like the blood pacts. That was the equivalent of your signature, but now we can't cut our hands open and shake hands no more because COVID and bloodborne pathogens and all that type of stuff. But anywho, you get my drift. Spells, you spell your name. Your words have power. Your name has power. That's why a lot of people say you look like a Chad. You look like a Bob. You see what I'm saying? Because that word has an energetic signature with your essence, if you will. So let's bring it back to how you break past your limits. Your limits get broken because you just set bigger ones. Mad simple. That sounds so easy. So when you say whether you think you can and can't, I said this in 1,000 videos now. It's like, but think about this. People think can is the good one, can't is the bad one. But you can yourself into negative things as well. I can only do 10 push-ups. I can only do 10 push-ups. You can use can in a bad way as well. I can only do 10 push-ups. So when you're doing that, you're casting a spell. Your body is going to react to what's going on in your mind. If you can only do 10, that's all you're going to be able to do. So how do you break past that limit? I can do more than I did yesterday. I can't fail. You see what I'm saying? Don't let the can and can't be negative and positive. You can use them both any way you want. But you have to understand what you're doing, what you are saying, and what you're saying about yourself and others. Like I said, the energy that you send to somebody else is the same energy you are also sending to someone else, but you're sending also to the universe. And the energy that you send off to the universe will be reflected back to you. So you have to see what it is that you're sending out there. If you keep on finding yourself failing and failing and failing, what things are you telling yourself, whether it be like consciously when you look in the mirror, or things that are like going on subconsciously that you haven't went back and changed? You see, you have to ask yourself these types of questions. Man, I've been trying to sell this house, for the last 2 months, and no one's buying it. Like, what's going on? How many times in the process have you said, no one's ever going to buy this house at this price? Maybe I should drop the price. You need to change that mindset. Once again, we are infinite beings. We are gods. We are divine. We are the star seeds. We are the universe. We are the source. We are the infinite. We are all these things. So therefore, your limits are only your limits. These are the limits that you placed on yourself. It's like some biblical stuff. It says expand your tent. Now you can look at this biblically, but I'm not a Bible person like that. I just hear my things and I roll with them. But think about this literally. If you expand your tent, what can you do? You have more opportunities for stuff to put in there. Are you going to put good stuff that benefits your life, or are you going to put bad stuff that only holds you back and makes life such a drab? You know what I'm saying? So you have to think about these types of things. Words have power. We use words all the time. We cast spells on ourselves. Are we going to say things that make good things happen in our lives, or are we going to say things that only support the bad things? Ask yourself that question. Till the next one.